After a very bitter Democratic primary race, Democrats have gathered here in Philadelphia for their convention, where Hillary Clinton will be anointed the first female presidential nominee of a major American political party. Bernie Sanders fans booed Mrs. Clinton when her name was mentioned on Monday, but the crowd has come together over the last couple of days, rallying behind the former Secretary of State towards their shared goal of beating Donald Trump and preventing him from getting into the White House in November. One of the big differences between the Republican convention in Cleveland last week and the Democratic convention here in Philadelphia is there's a lot more diversity on show. Instead of the largely white faces that we saw in Cleveland, here you have large numbers of African Americans, Hispanics, you also have a fair number of disabled people, you have gay people walking around, and the mood is very different. While the Republican convention was all about a kind of a dark mood about problems in America and rising crime and the threat from ISIS, here in Philadelphia it's about bringing people together. It's an uplifting message. It's something that the Democrats say that Hillary Clinton is going to bring to the White House, in contrast to what they say is the dangerous and dishonest message that Donald Trump is trumping on the campaign trail. One of the big questions here in Philadelphia was whether the Democratic Party would come together after what was a very bitter primary race where Bernie Sanders, the Vermont senator, gave Secretary Clinton a much tougher race than people had expected. She's going to need Senator Sanders to help rally his supporters, an army of young people, of millennials, who will be crucial in raising turnout ahead of November and making sure that she can compete with Donald Trump. In the same way that Joe Biden is going to try and rally the white working-class male workers, and Bill Clinton and Barack Obama are going to try and get the African-American vote, Bernie Sanders is crucial, and Mrs. Clinton is going to have to make sure that she does everything in her power to keep him on side. While Mrs. Clinton faced a much tougher primary than anyone had expected, the eventual outcome is what we thought would happen. Mrs. Clinton, the former First Lady, Secretary of State and New York Senator, is now the official Democratic nominee for president. But we didn't know a year ago that her rival for the White House was going to be Donald Trump, a bombastic billionaire businessman who has completely upended the Republican presidential race and is now upending the race for the White House. Months ago, Mrs. Clinton and her team might have wanted to run against Donald Trump, given his divisive rhetoric. Some of the things that he says on the campaign trail are things that would have derailed any other traditional candidate. But coming out of the Democratic convention, one thing is clear. Polls show that Donald Trump is caught up with Hillary Clinton, and in some cases he's passed her out. Over the next 4 months, we're going to see what is one of the ugliest presidential races in modern American history. Demetri Sevastopulo, Financial Times, at the Democratic Convention in Philadelphia.